Chapter 1. In the August of 2024, in the early hours of August 29th, 2024, when the satellites belonging to several countries suddenly began detecting deeply suspicious thermal activity over the remote Arctic coast of Siberia. The deep thermal signature, coming from there, struck the countries as odd and misfitting in the puzzle of their concurrent activities. Considering the sheer scale of the military bases there, the area of interest would be in the neighborhood of the abandoned Soviet military ones. However, such hypotheses didn't take into account the unprecedented tests that started recently. America and Russia had took quite a catastrophic leap forward, and the detonated device was, if anything, only stage-level testing the new technology. Chapter 2, codename Icarus. The new information centrode would be dealt with for the testing managed by the US aimed to determine Icarus capabilities. The stealth program did manage to retrieve important documents, preserved since the Cold War, and they served as basis to dive into the new project. Parallel tests and patents could have led to the production of new stealth jets, rendering the US capable of testing their old technology with the new ones. Americans, bearing the Icarus challenge, didn't stand a chance with Forsey in the Forces of Nature label. The Cold War-era patents foregone rockets seemed to be modified. Few people were exposed to the project on high. It got lost in black budget upon black budget, disguised as what would become energy work for legitimate civilian use. It was supposed to build, not be used. Yet with a rogue order, plans changed. Chapter 3. Rogue intentions. General Yevgeny Kardylov had been displeased with Russian leadership for some time. He believes them to be a soft nation, weak from not experiencing past reigns of power, and he feared NATO was going to take the first shot and initiate World War III. Thus, with intentions not in line with a formal command, General Kardylov gave the order to detonate. Documents leaked to the public post-detonation showed that since late 2023, he had been hoarding uranium and tritium at an undisclosed location, buried between the northern islands of the Novaya Zemlya archipelago. Kardylov's detonation was not intended to kill, but rather to send a message that Russia still had power. But it cost them, and the rest of the world, more than anyone anticipated. Chapter 4. The detonation. At 6:17 Universal Time, coordinated on August 29th, 2024, a mushroom cloud greater than Mount Everest emerged into the sky. Windows shattered in northern Finland, more than 900 kilometers away. Seismic shifts registered 3 times across the globe. The explosion registered 7.6 on the Richter scale. It was not an earthquake. It was man-made. Yet nature suffered. Fish boiled in the nearby Arctic Ocean. Radioactive elements rained down in premature snow across dozens of miles of tundra. Atmospheric sensors as far away as Australia confirmed radiation spread. The largest non-combat nuclear explosion had occurred. Chapter 5. Panic and Denial. Russia initially denied involvement. Kremlin spokespersons claimed it was a meteorological event, but satellite footage told a different story. Multiple countries published their own thermal imaging showing the origin point and its impossible energy signature. Russia's own citizens wanted to know just what it was that was happening meanwhile. They demanded answers then. Whispers of Icarus leaked online. Hints dropped by former military personnel that this wasn't an accident lit up telegram channels. That pressure just overwhelmed each thing. On September 2nd, the Kremlin did admit to a forbidden test. Chapter 6. The global fallout. Governments worldwide scrambled to respond. NATO convened an emergency session, and the UN Security Council entered into a permanent session. At once, economic sanctions were then reinstated. Overnight, the Arctic Treaty shattered again. Evacuations because of hazardous radiation occurred throughout areas of Greenland plus northern Norway within communities that generations saw no people exit. Environmental experts warned that the climate would be impacted in a lasting manner. especially because soot was thrown up to the stratosphere. Chapter 7. The Hunt for Kardylov. General Yevgeny Kardylov disappeared immediately following the blast. He went dark. People worried about how he moved. Intelligence agencies around the world then began the tracking of him. Some thought Kardylov was killed in the explosion, though a man resembling him boarded a private submersible near Murmansk in unconfirmed drone footage released mid-September. There were rumors flying all over that he was planning to go to the north with the plans of the weapons. Some were convinced that he was a victim of Russia itself, who wanted to cover the scandal. Nobody has come across him till now. His existence turned into a legend, and his name was compared to the phrase reckless power. Chapter 8. The Shadow War. After the accident, the number of military exercises along NATO borders has increased 10 times. The frequency of satellite launches has gone to the moon. Several waves of cyber attacks have caused power outages in North America and Europe. However, secretly, the nuclear incident has led to a digital Cold War. Some whistleblowers revealed that Icarus was not the only one with such power. At least, they were sure that along with the one in the Ural Mountains, there was also the one deep beneath the Sea of Okhotsk. Until now, no evidence has ever been found. Nevertheless, countries are still scared the worst will happen. Chapter 9. The Legacy of Icarus. The Icarus detonation had a profound impact on nuclear policy. An international treaty on nuclear weapons came into effect in late 2024, which set a threshold of 25 megatons for the maximum allowed. Countries that participated were many, but Russia, North Korea, and Iran were not among them. The environmental damage continued. At the close of 2024, a survey showed that the Arctic animals' populations had declined by 18%. The climate scientists recorded a 0.2 degrees Celsius fall in the global temperature as a result of the sun-blocking particles. This new turn of events indicates that the off chance of a tiniest ice age event is now within the realm of possibility after more than 100 years. Chapter 10. What we still don't know. Was Kardylov a lone wolf, or was he merely a tool for a much bigger team that was playing the game by stealth? Did Russia, without telling anybody, agree to the explosion to intimidate the world and use Kardylov as the scapegoat? The answer to all these questions is nobody. All official records that were related to Project Icarus had been deleted or blanked out. The Russians did not allow the international safety officers to access the site, or gave them incomplete information. The reporters, who were trying to find out the truth about the story, were either no longer found or arrested on the ground that they were spying. A drone pilot tampered a photograph of a building hidden in the woods of Siberia, which suggested to be the place of Icarus according to blueprints. The event, 3 days later, was deleted from his logging system. Chapter 11. A warning to the world. The event of August 2024 was not just the explosion of a bomb. It was a scream, unambiguously threatening the changing of the course of the whole world's security. For years, the world has been walking cautiously along the edge of the nuclear cliff. However, when someone has eventually leaped, they have not just landed, but actually exploded the Earth. And if just one bad military commander was capable of igniting such a large fire, how many other fires would be there? But they would all be smoldering silently? To get more of such stories that are kept away from you by the media, erased by governments, and ignored by the world, subscribe please. The truth is still out there. If only you knew where to find it.